Well, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business. Let's wake up the football gods. Oh my God. Can you believe that the regular season is over and we're now talking about playoffs? No, Jim, we're going to talk about playoffs. We going to talk about playoffs now because it's all we got left. Jim, come on. That's all we got left. We have the playoffs. We got 2 games tomorrow. We got 2 games on Sunday, and then we have the featured event, the Dallas Cowboys. And the way it sounds by most of the talking heads, it's literally the Christians going against the Lions. And we're about to be eaten. That's the way it's made up to be. But I've got a different theory here, possibly, of what's going on. But a couple of things. You know, they've made so much out of Dak Prescott's interceptions without, saying, well, yeah, he throws a lot of interceptions, but he's also getting a lot of points on the board, too. They forget that part because generally speaking, what happens most of the time is guys get a lot of interceptions and the team loses. Well, I believe he's 6-3 since he came back in arguably the toughest division in football this year. Is the number 5 seed in the playoffs and had a broken thumb. You know, they keep talking about the interceptions, but here's one of the things that is not told when you get all the statistics.
Can take numbers and skew them any way we want. We often can take numbers and we'll fit them into the narrative that we want to try and paint. And I probably am guilty of this. Can take numbers and skew them any way we want. We often can take numbers and we'll fit them into the narrative that we want to try and take.
Fit them into the narrative that we want to take. Here's the thing, when I've watched the Cowboys, and if you've watched my live streams, I hope you have during Sundays, I think there's nothing like it. It's like hanging at the sports bar with your friends because, I'm here, we got the big sub, and we're creating a special playoff sub, a Joe Boo Mojo sub that's going to be fiery and ready to go. If you watch that, you feel like, you're hanging at the sports bar with your friends. But one of the things I've always pointed out, I swear it seems like 85 to 90% of the passes that Dak Prescott throws are tight windows. It's not that he's not seeing the guy that's wide open. It's the fact that there is no guy wide open. So you have the choice. Do I throw it away and shy away from trying to fit it in and create third and longers, or do I try and fit it in? This team, I don't have the number statistics. I need to talk to my buddy and see if he can find out, the separation or contested passes, but they're always in traffic. Let's be clear. We've got a great receiver in CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb has been everything advertised this season. He has stepped into the breach. He has become a true number 1 and one of the best wide receivers in football. From that point down, Michael Gallup, who missed the first 4 games, still is not the Michael Gallup that used to be the field stretcher getting downfield. He's not getting separation. Noah Brown has had a great season for what Noah Brown is. But Noah Brown has his limitations. And when you get into these tight windows where you're not great at catching and the ball is tipped, guys are around you to make those plays. And I'm not going to go ahead and say that Dak Prescott does not. Yeah, that where we went to the same spot 2 plays in a row, stupid throw. It was bad. Dak's had his share of bad throws. But last year, we had Matthew Stafford throw 17. And I believe 5 pick sixes. They won the Super Bowl. I've seen Brett Favre throw 29 in a season. And what they say about Brett Favre, hey, he's a gunslinger. It's okay. So the conundrum is, if guys aren't open, you got to force it in there. And if you're risking the biscuit, you're going to have plays that turn it over. It's just the fact of the matter. Now, we have Dan Orlovsky. Let's listen to him for a moment here on breaking down the lone touchdown that the Cowboys had against the Commanders.
So we've done a lot of tape this week about him pressing, trying to be perfect. I just want to watch Dak see it, trust it, and rip it like he always has. So this is going to be what we call 5 verticals. There's 10 seconds left in the second quarter, not 4 verticals, but 5. And Dak's really going to start inside out. He's going to go tight end to CD on the seam, right? And the concept or the read is going to really start to go 1 to 2. You want to go inside out if you're Dak Prescott. Now, I want everyone at home to pay attention to this safety, okay? See where he is in relation to that hash. He's like 2 yards outside of that hash, and that's the guy that's going to determine where and when to throw this football if you're Dak Prescott. You're going to see the tight end go vertical. Now, this is where I want to stop it. As that tight end goes vertical and he really gets inside of where that linebacker is, that linebacker is going to hang in, okay? And remember I told everybody at home to look at that safety, right? See where he is now? Instead of being 2 yards outside of that hash, he has seamed in because of Dak Prescott's eyes and gotten basically head up on that hash. Now Dak knows I got a shot to take to CeeDee Lamb. Now CeeDee does an awesome job of widening on that seam, and that nickel defender, you see now, he's tucked outside. So you've got
Watch
that
where he has to
linebacker
throw
and
this
safety
football.
that have dropped inside. The nickel's playing outside. See it? Trust it and rip it. And that's exactly what Dak Prescott's doing in this moment. Look, Dak's finally hitting his back foot, and he is driving that football down the seam. Now, this is a tight window. Remember, 10 seconds to go in the second quarter. I want everyone at home to watch where this ball is placed. I mean, that is a big-time throw by a quarterback that for most of his career, that's who he's been. So the reality is this.
Take a look at that. It's not that he doesn't have guys all around him. This is with CeeDee Lamb. You're off an inch. That's a pick. And unfortunately, this is mostly what Dak Prescott has had to do all season.
Right now with Dak Prescott trying to press, trying to be perfect, basically putting on that Superman cape and making everything the most important play. Kev, the reason why he played so well a couple weeks ago against Philadelphia, it went down 10-0. It was like, just go play ball, right? So if he can be that guy where he sees it and he's not reckless with the football, but sees it, trusts it, and rips it, that's the chance that the Cowboys have to win the football game if they get that guy.
Curious, though, you brought the Eagles game up. This was after, though, he threw the first pick 6 on a terrible play.
Right.
Then he settled down, right? And we will see if he can settle down for 4 quarters.
I just think it's take a deep breath and just go play. And that's who he's been for the great.
And don't run out of the back of the end zone.
Trying to be something other than that. So we've done a lot.
And don't run out of the back of the end zone. Okay? Don't do that. All right. So in other news, here's my theory. And maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm a homer and I'm just hoping and reaching and grabbing for straws. But I feel like from some of the things that I've heard that the Cowboys coasted the last few weeks. That they were saying, we don't want to get hurt. We want to save it for the playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
Yeah.
You kidding me? Playoffs?
Reason being, I say that. The reason I say that is you heard Dan Quinn talk about how they were trying different roles for guys. Like Golston, they found out how good he can be, and he'll be used more in the playoffs. Tyler Cole, they brought him up at safety and were playing him. Sadly, he got injured in practice yesterday, sprained his MCL, and is going to miss 2 to 4 weeks. But they were experimenting more than anything else to try to find some different looks, different people that can do different roles and different things, as opposed to just going out and going after it. I think the reality was pretty much they knew we're going to be the 5th seed. We're going to play Tampa Bay. Let's start getting prepared for that. And if you watch the Washington game, as much as we want to kill the Cowboys about going out there flat, they didn't use play action. They didn't use motion. It was very, very vanilla. It was very, very vanilla. And I don't believe that they'll come out against Tampa Bay like that. And listening to Micah Parsons, I got 2 quotes here that I want to go through. One, he kind of put shots out with Brady, and you can take it however you want to. It's always too cool going against Brady because, shit, none of us know when his last game is. So hopefully we can get a win, and we can be known for being the last team to beat him. Yep. So he's motivated that he wants to get a piece of history there. But this is the piece that really makes me think that they were coasting going into the playoffs. The last couple of weeks, I just felt like the season's long, and at the end of the season, you tend to chase things. You tend to do everything, but now I feel like I hit my second win in terms of how I feel in the season. I feel like I feel better now than I have the last couple of weeks, just because of how anxious and excited I am. And maybe toning it back down. You know, when you heard him say that about the NFLPA list of, you know, the all-pros, he's basically told you, give a rat's ass about being all-pro on the NFLPA list. They can take that list and F it. I'm in the playoffs. And the playoffs are where your name is made. You can have all those sacks and stuff during the regular season, but it's the guys that show up in the playoffs that become the legends, that become the Hall of Famers. Tony Romo's numbers are good enough to be a Hall of Famer, but the problem is it didn't happen in the playoffs. You can look at Eli Manning, and Eli Manning will probably be a Hall of Famer, not because of the numbers he had in the regular season, because they were pretty much pedestrian, but he turned it on 2 times in the playoffs, and that's the difference. So maybe we were looking at Dan Quinn kind of saying, we're not going to show everything. We're going to coach up some of these young guys. We're going to see what we can get from this, that, and the other, and we're going to take pieces of this and give different looks come the playoffs. We're not going to give a lot of film study for them going down the stretch and come out with something new. And maybe the last couple of weeks where we have not run the ball as much, maybe they're saying we're going to need the running game and Tony and Zeke for the playoffs. And so we're going to try and save them some. We're going to try some different combinations and just being vanilla with the passing game and save it for the playoffs. Because, see, right now, everybody is going through, if the Cowboys are playing like they did against Washington, well, again, I don't think they're going to play with what? No motion, no play action, very little 12 personnel, not much running. I don't think you're going to play like that. I think they will have a very much different game plan. Now, will they be able to get the monkey of Tom Brady off their back? That remains to be seen. But I think you will see a different team coming out this week, especially if any of them listen at all to the media. I'd be pissed off, personally. I would be ready to go ahead and say, I'm going to destroy Tom Brady to make these mother humpers eat crow. And I will say, I learned, okay, I'm going to say, I've been saving this, but what's cool to me and what was truly a freaking honor, okay, I am Joe the fan, just Joe the fan. I am a guy who has been a Dallas Cowboy fan from the time I sat on the couch with my dad and not knowing shit. All I knew was my dad was cheering for the Cowboys. I grew up watching Roger Staubach and Craig Morton, watching Tony Dorsett and the Doomsday Defense, watching the wars between the Cowboys and the Redskins at that time, seeing the Cinderella story of Joe Montana coming through and being the team of the 80s along with the Redskins, seeing the Dallas Cowboys literally go downhill and Tom Landry's philosophy get passed by. and the rebirth with Jimmy Johnson, the rebuild of that team and that roster. I have seen it all. And I don't claim to be an expert on this. You know, I'm not saying I'm ESPN at all. I am Joe the fan giving you my thoughts and my opinions. And we never know who actually watches out there. And I had the honor the other day of getting an Instagram message. And you know I suck at emojis. And when I first saw it, I was like, what the hell is this? It was an ice cream cone and a gorilla. Ice cream cone and a gorilla. And I looked and I said, ice cream, gorilla? Ice cream, gorilla? Ice cream. Vanilla ice cream, gorilla. Vanilla gorilla. Sends me a message on Instagram. Vanilla gorilla. And I was like, is this actually him? It's like, yeah. He said, I appreciate what you do, the videos and putting my name out there. He even wished the Dallas Cowboys good luck in the playoffs. And I was like, I said, you know, I have a Dallas Cowboys jersey. Where? Let's see. Is it? Where is it? I have your jersey in a Cowboys. You said you should have wore it to the game. But you never know who watches your social media. And if they do, listening to everybody, kill them. Kill them. For me to have John Ridgway literally say, thank you, me and my family enjoy it, said, oh my God, man, you mean you guys watch social media? You guys watch and listen to this stuff? And there's no way in the world that you can't hear somebody like Shady and his big mouth talking about Dak Prescott is ass, that he's ass, that the Cowboys suck, that the Cowboys are chokers, that the Cowboys are going to lose, even though they're favorites on the road against Tom Brady, that they got no chance in hell. That if they hear all this and basically get that bunker mentality where it's us against the world, where we're going to band together, as George Allen used to say, 43 men together can't lose. Well, it's 53 now. That's what they need. It's us against the world. Let me finish this off this morning with Rich Eisen.
Come up with a top 5 list. On the
Shout out to John Ridgway.
The Rich Eisen Show production staff is ready to support it.
Let's go.
Top 5 teams on upset alert. Super wild card weekend. Hit it, Mike Del Tufo. Thank you. Super wild card weekend. Upset alert.
Dallas over Tampa, yes.
I wasn't going to put them on this list until you told me about the weather on Saturday. I mean, the weather's a great equalizer.
Kenneth Walker could run that rock.
And so it's going to be awful weather. Now, clearly, McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell can run in that weather. What about Brock Purdy? Does he stay crispy in rain? What's going on? It's supposed to be brutal, and Seattle's coming. And all bets are off when it's division games sometimes. I'm a little concerned all of a sudden. Upset alert. I'm putting them on upset alert, but the lowest level of upset alert, just level 5.
Mm-hmm. Level 5 now.
Yeah, that would be the
level 5.
World,
okay.
That's highest
So
level.
you got to put them level 1.
Number 5 on this list of the 49ers. Number 4 on this list. I'm telling the Los Angeles Chargers you're on upset alert, and they're the road team. Jacksonville Jaguars beat them by 31 earlier this year. And I love the way the Jaguars are playing, and they are young, and they don't know what they shouldn't know. And I don't know how healthy the Chargers are going to be going to this game. I am worried for the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm putting them on upset alert.
1.5 favorite Chargers.
Okay. So I'm putting them on upset alert. Number 3 on this list. Hey, Minnesota. Brian Daboll and the New York Football Giants are coming to town to one and done you. And if you show up the way you showed up against Dallas and for much of the game against Indianapolis or for the game against Green Bay recently, you show up like that, you bet Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley and Kayvon Thibodeau are going to put you on the couch by sundown. So you are on upset alert number 3 of Super Wild Card Weekend.
Super.
Thank you very much. Number 2 on this list, Monday Night Football. Dallas Cowboys, baby.
But we're on the
Number 2
on this list as the Dallas Cowboys.
Get your damn act together.
Upset alert.
So what are you saying? That like
I'm saying that the way that they have been playing and that they're going to take on Tom Brady.
so Tampa should be on the upset alert because they're
Excuse me.
favored, right?
Excuse me.
They're not favored.
Excuse
They
me.
should be.
Tom Brady is a home dog.
Home dog.
And
Yeah, but we don't buy that.
And he knows what is at stake. And the rest
Here we
of
go.
the world knows the Dallas Cowboys were one and done last year in the playoffs, and they can ill afford in many different ways to be one and done this time around, and they are flat out on upset alert. And that would leave who could be number 1
Yeah,
on
I'm
upset
real- I'm
alert
really
if the
confused.
Cowboys are
Who
number
is
2?
number 1?
Very simple answer to that question. Dallas Cowboys are number 1 on this list.
They literally put the Cowboys on twice.
On upset alert, I'm putting the Dallas Cowboys. They are 1 and 2.
We all know
on
about
this
Stan.
list.
That's amazing.
That's how much in the upset alert crosshairs America's team is.
Upset alert. Crosshairs.
1
Wow.
and 2. 2 up to 1. Whatever the DEFCON system is. They are top 2.
Tier 4 and 5.
Settle down just a little bit.
I appreciate that, Mr. Jones.
Hey, Mikey, what would Tyreek Hill have to say about this?
Am I reading this right? Is that what you, okay, he can't do that.
Disrespect is real.
Yeah, the
it's out there.
disrespect is real.
Okay.
Okay, disrespect is real.
That's my top 5 list of
Wow.
super wild card weekend
The
teams on
audacity,
upset
Rich
alert.
Eisen. The
I ran a little
audacity.
okey doke on you. Like if the Cowboys are
That's
2,
what
who
I
could
said.
be
I was
1?
like, really? Are you going to put the Bengals on upset alert?
No,
Like,
no.
No.
Cowboys
Lamar's
is 1.
not playing.
No, Cowboys top 2.
I hated that list.
I hate that list too.
I don't know. the rest
But
of the
you
guys
know
seem
what?
to enjoy it.
I hope that the Cowboys take it
But at least
and
you're
turn
on the
it to
list. Our
something
teams
else.
are not on the list, and
I
it's
mean,
not
no,
because they're on the upset alert. They are just upset
That they didn't make it.
watching on television,
Yeah.
like the rest of us. So at least you got that.
Rich did us
I'm glad we
dirty.
didn't make it. Last year we lost by 30 in the playoffs. That was dumb.
You'd rather not make it at all, huh?
Exactly.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either.
He's got a point. Catch the Rich.
All right. Rich Eisen does us dirty. Whew. Oh, well. It is what it is. I hope that the Dallas Cowboys are listening and they take this, that they don't show up nervous, that they come out there loose and ready like the San Francisco 49ers did and bust some heads. I'm Mark Holmes, and as always, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Tune in tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern, for our live stream. Tune in at 7 o'clock for prime time and game time, of course, with their preview. And, of course, tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday, we will be here live streaming every playoff game.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
Yeah, we're going to talk about playoffs, Jim.
Playoffs?
We're going to talk about playoffs.
Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Sports Report.